Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
Always nice to talk to you.
Absolutely.
You're deep, and we have deep conversations.
We do. We go there.
So can we, we do.
Let's dive in.
We go there and we live there for a while. I want to start with one of the deepest things right now.
What's that?
I know we're going to talk about Boys in the Band at the Booth Theater. It's a restaging of the landmark play from 1968.
Yeah.
But first, before we get there, is there going to be a Star Trek 4? And is Tarantino directing?
I think, here's what I
know. There was a rumor.
There is a rumor. There's truth to that rumor. I know more now than I knew a few weeks ago, which is that there will be a fourth movie.
Yay! Hot damn.
Hot damn, if we stay on the track that we're on. But I think that there's going to be a movie before Quentin's movie, so there may be even a movie after the next movie.
What?
So we have a lot to look forward to. They just announced that a woman will be directing the next film, which is really exciting.
Is that the first time?
It's the first time in the feature universe, yeah. And it's actually a woman who I know and have worked with before named S.J. Clarkson, and she's incredible. I'm very excited. So that seems to be in the works. I guess don't quote me on that on national television, because I don't know if her deal's closed. But it was in Deadline and Variety, so there must be some truth to it.
All right. Well, okay, I was a huge fan of the show In Search Of.
Yeah, I heard that.
I watched it. It was on Saturday nights when I was a teenager. It would come on Saturday nights. Leonard Nimoy would come out, like it was like 7 or something like that, and then 7:30 it'd be The Muppet Show. And then I'd go out with my friends.
100%.
And
as you do on a Saturday night.
Of course you do.
Watch The Muppet Show before you.
Of course. Now, you're stepping into that role, too.
Yeah.
Zachary Quinto. In 2018, what are we in search of?
We are in search of, the original show was great in its own way. Leonard would often appear in a turtleneck and a blazer in a studio and say, "Good evening and welcome to In Search Of," and then he'd throw to a pre-taped package in the field. And so when I was approached about doing it, I said, I am interested in this, but there's a couple things that we need to change. One of them is I want to be on the ground. So I actually got to travel all around the world using sort of Anthony Bourdain as a template and Parts Unknown.
Really?
Yeah, so I went to these places and conducted interviews myself. And we're trying to maintain the integrity of the original series, so looking for things that are unexplained, unknown, mysteries of the universe.
Are we talking like aliens, ancient pyramids,
aliens.
Stonehenge, Bigfoot?
All right, some of that.
Nazca lines,
some of
that kind of stuff?
Some of that. We do have an episode about aliens, monsters of the deep, the lost city of Atlantis, but we also have episodes about artificial intelligence and life after death and mind control. We try now to explore things from the perspective of all the advances in technology and science that we've benefited from in the last 40 years. So we're trying to keep the familiarity of the show, but to move it in a new direction and to invite audiences in to look at things from the way that we see them now, rather than the way that they were seen in the late 70s and early 80s. So, in the spirit of my dear departed Leonard, I am really excited, and we had a great time filming it, and it'll be on sometime in July on History.
Well, most important question, turtlenecks?
I do wear one turtleneck.
You
just
do?
in homage to Leonard,
It's a really good look.
It's like a fisherman's sweater turtleneck, so it's utilitarian. It's on the ground.
Like it's based on pedestal.
Totally.
Now, do you believe in aliens, by the way?
I believe that we would be foolhardy to think that we're the only intelligent life in the expanse of the universe and beyond.
I think we might be foolhardy to think that we're intelligent life.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough, touche.
All right, yeah.
But I think there has to be some version of life beyond what we know in this planet, and we met, so a lot of the show is about the convergence of science and experience, so human experience and science and where those two things meet. So we met like people who have been abducted by aliens and who have had these experiences. And as weird as it may seem, we interviewed 3 people, none of whom had ever met before, none of whom had anything to do with one another in any way, shape, or form. And the similarities in their stories were so eerie that it did sort of make me double take the whole possibility of it. But then when we talked to the scientists who are utilizing the most advanced technology in radio telescopes and searching into the deep recesses of space, it feels quite far from being a reality. So I don't know. It's the interesting thing about the show is it presents it to the audience. It gives you what we learn, and it asks you kind of how you feel about it.
Definitely.
Check it out.
Okay, I need to ask you about this right here. It's absolutely beautiful. Can you explain what this is? You brought this by. I love it when guests have show and tell.
Okay, good. Well,
it always makes the class more exciting for the other students.
Sure. I was talking in my pre-interview.
Can I put it out here? Do we need to put it out here for you to be able to shoot that? Is that a good shot?
There it is.
Okay.
Gorgeous, isn't it? I was talking in my pre-interview about sort of the legacy of theater and of doing theater, and the idea of lineage and being connected to the people who've come before us.
Institutional memory.
Institutional memory. The last Broadway production I did was The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams.
Sure.
And this was given to me by my co-star Cherry Jones, who played Amanda in that production.
Brilliant actress.
This is allegedly, it belonged to Tennessee Williams himself, and it was used for cocaine. And there's a little broken, it's broken, but you can see that there is a spoon that goes in there and actually makes up the tail of the bird. So if the spoon weren't broken, it would be in there, and then the idea is that you just dip it in with a little, and then I don't know if that's what it was actually used for.
And the spoon broke.
The spoon,
there must have been a lot of cocaine.
It was very heavy cocaine. It was loaded in brie, so it had some extra weight to it. But yeah, that's...
This, I feel like when I was told about this, I said, this sounds like a illicit antiques roadshow. So, Jim, let's show them what you could get for Tennessee Williams' cocaine holder. That's nice. That's nice. Well, thank you very much. Be careful with that.
My pleasure. I will be.
Now, this has got an amazing cast. Boys in the Band of the Booth Theater. Yep. Jim Parsons, Matt Bomer, Andrew Rannells, you. How do you think this story, telling the story now, compares to telling it in 1968? What's different and what still lives? What part of the message is the same?
Well, look, this play originally was produced not on Broadway. This is actually the first Broadway production of it. It was produced off-Broadway, but it was an incredible hit. It was a revolutionary. Nobody had seen anything like it. The exploration of gay men, psychology, and relationships and interactions on stage. How far have we come in 50 years? The fact that this is an entirely out gay cast, I think, is a huge hallmark of the advances that we've made in that time. But, it really resonates for audiences. I mean, first of all, it's hysterically funny, but it also explores what it is to internalize societal bigotry, judgment. And, if you think about the administration that we are currently under the weight of, there is a lot of backward-looking, reductive thought about the LGBTQ community. And so I think there's no better time to be telling this story than now. It's really holding up a mirror to where we are. And, look, marriage equality is the law of the land. That certainly wasn't the case. 50 years ago, the original cast of this play had an incredibly difficult time in the world trying to integrate who they were as people and who they wanted to be as actors. And this is a cast of people who have been able to do just that in our own ways as individuals. And sometimes I feel like the things about ourselves that we might not be comfortable with, or the parts of ourselves that we would rather change, through the work that we can do as creative people and also in our own lives, can become kind of the most powerful and exciting parts of our experience. And I think this production has proven that for me, and I would say on behalf of everybody else, probably for them too. It's been really exciting and really, really fun.
Well, have a great run.
Thank you, man.
It's always lovely to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Boys in the Band is on Broadway now. Zachary Quinto, everybody. We'll be right back with comedian Vanessa Bayer.